What's up, everybody? Welcome to the video. Today I'm here to talk about the new Gran Turismo movie that just came out. Actually, it's been out for a while because it was in early showings. It's maybe like a week ago or 2 weeks ago. But now it's technically officially everywhere else. I guess beyond those early showings. But I just watched it today on the Sunday morning. Actually, today was cinema day, so tickets were only $4. I'm like, gotta take advantage. Not that I wasn't willing to spend full price ticket to watch the movie, but you know how expensive movie tickets are, and you know why not take advantage of that. But um, I'm gonna just go over what I liked and what I didn't like, and start off a little spoiler free and then get into spoilers. But I really enjoy the movie. I highly recommend this movie. If you're a PlayStation fan or not a PlayStation fan, a Gran Turismo fan, not a Gran Turismo fan, a racing fan, or not a racing fan, I think this is narratively storytelling and just in terms of action and everything else is a great movie for a large portion of people, not just people who are into these types of things that or just want to see a good racing movie. I mean, to me, this movie proves that you can still make a very exciting and well told racing movie that doesn't just turn into a cartoon. And I'm talking about Fast and the Furious. Fast and the Furious, the first three movies were bona fide great racing movies with a lot of character drama and a lot of character melodrama and a lot of good races, good action sequences, and lots of fast, frenetic pacing moments, especially Tokyo Drift. That kind of probably was the holy grail of that trilogy. But then from there on, the series just kind of turned into a cartoon and just kind of turned into, okay, let's just blow up things. Um, but this is not that. This is more thoughtful and it's from a true story. It's from, if people aren't familiar, a long time ago, and I don't know, I don't think they still do this, but there's still like Gran Turismo competitions happening virtually and through the game. I just don't know if they're doing anything in real life like they used to. But back during the PS3 generation, they used to have this show called Gran Turismo Academy, and it went on for a few seasons. I remember watching one of the seasons, but this is specifically the winner of the first season, which his name is Han. Han, just Jann. I made sure to at least write a few of the main characters and their actors just so I remember. But it's mostly based on him and his journey through really dedicating hours and hours into the game and then going on and playing at a professional level or driving at a professional level. And I really, really liked the whole idea of just really setting the tone on the dangers and the reality of, yeah, cool, you've played Gran Turismo for 1,000 hours and you know this track from top to bottom, cool, but real life things happen. And you know the main character, David Harbour's character, the Jack Shelter, like, he really sets the tone. Like, the people you're gonna compete with, they're not gonna like you. The your pit crew, a lot of your pit crew, they're not gonna like you to start with, and yeah, you might be good in the game, but anything could happen on the track in real life, and you could lose your life or get in a crazy accident in a matter of a millisecond. And that's what you see in this movie, and that's one of the things that I really liked about this movie is just some of the crashes. There's a few crashes, but the crashes that do happen are super gnarly. Like, it's just like car torn in half type stuff, And I don't honestly know if those actually happen in real life, but I guess I could believe it just because how fast these guys are going, and the fact that anything could happen. The only thing is that at least since it is related to Gran Turismo on PlayStation, I would have thought that maybe I would have seen some kind of story on IGN or something about it, but I don't really recall seeing anything about that. But regardless, it made for good theatrics and movie, and yeah, it says it's based on a true story, but I honestly can't say if that stuff was true. But it was still like super cool the way they executed it, and the just the raw, violent nature of it all. I'm just gonna go very quick on the things I liked. So one is the races. The races, there are actually quite a few big races, and there's a moment where they go through a quick montage of a series of races as the main character Han works towards getting his license so he could play more consistently professionally. Um, but yeah, the races in this movie are actually really really well done, like just the cinematics, the sound. Like this is definitely a theater movie, a movie you want to watch in the theaters. And I didn't watch an IMAX, but it makes me think the IMAX experience would be just as cool if not better. But the races here are genuine, raw, just exciting races to watch unfold, and you just feel the tension, like especially when things like crash, when you see one or two crashes happen, you start to get worried of like, damn, you don't want nothing to happen, you know. And when something does happen, it's like, damn, are they're okay or whatever. But yeah, that's my next thing is the crashes, which I talked about just a second. But the crashes are so gnarly. Like, it's just cars just getting decimated. Again, there's only a few of them that happen, but when it does happen, it's pretty damn crazy. Um, I really like the story between the dad and Han. Um, I really thought their relationship was very relatable, just as terms of the dad not really approving of the son's aspirations to race and be a race car driver, and but then later on coming around and being more supportive of the son towards the end. Um, yeah, I really enjoyed that character drama, and because it is, if you've played games and if you are a person that's into games, you know how some parents can be, and or how unsupportive some parents can be in terms of your interest in games, and beyond that, your interest of wanting to pursue a career in games. A lot of people don't really see a point or as a legitimate way to get into actual career or whatnot. But yeah, I really enjoy that dynamic. Also between um, Han and Jack, which is Harbour's character. I really like David Harbour. He does a great job in this movie. He starts off very cold and just kind of suspect of the whole idea of starting this academy of gamers that want to start racing professionally. And he has a very cold but tough love sort of aspect to him. But as the story progresses, he starts getting more softer towards Han and starts opening up a little bit more. And it was nice to see his character arc. Um, the cinematics, the visuals were great. There were some shots. There was a lot of gamey shots or shots that made gamify things. But there was a lot of cool shots that show the interiors of the car while it's revving. That did not look right. While it was revving, um, or just a lot of the shots just passing by, and like, or like, it's just a really well shot movie. And the sound design of it, the sound of the cars and hearing the roar of the cars, the visuals, as I just said, again, a very theater type of experience. And I think the tie to PlayStation and Gran Turismo is a very cool idea. Again, this is under the PlayStation Productions banner, but they've been on a pretty good run with this, the Uncharted movie. I'm hearing pretty good things about There's another one. I keep forgetting the name. That just came out for Peacock, another show, and of course the Last of Us show. They've been on a pretty good run with some TVs and shows, but I really like that connection, and to me, I just like the idea that this validifies or validates, I should say, games, and that it can be a career path, in just not in the multiple of ways. In this way, it just happens to be competitive racing. But yeah, I also like the villain. The villain, I didn't write down his name, but he's this sort of blonde, very must, very um kind of pretentious guy, and he sort of is the motivation on why David Harbour character's Jack ends up leaving. He works for he was working for him in the beginning, but he leaves him because he's an asshole. But and he leaves them to do the GT Academy, and yeah, I thought overall he was a good villain, just in terms of like he's very cold and he does not care, but he's also a spoiled rich kid, and he cheats a lot. He plays dirty when he's on the racetrack, and he bullies a lot of people. And there's this other race car driver that does a lot of that. But he ends up kind of having a total wipeout towards the end, and even the blonde guy that I'm talking about also has a wipeout that's really crazy in the middle, um, that I won't say much, but it's like a really cool sequence. Um, but he was overall a good villain. Like he was kind of, in some ways, a motivation for Han to want to get better and really try to prove him wrong. But also, like, it was just a very kind of toxic kind of competition thing. There was some healthy competition, especially when you go into the Gran Turismo part. I thought the movie was just going to be based on the Gran Turismo Academy part, but it goes beyond that, and it shows stuff from other races Han ends up doing. Like I said, him working towards to get the license to do more races, um, and then the final race we see at the end, at La Mas in France, which ends up being a very long endurance race type of race. But I thought the villain was really good, and not super fleshed out or had a lot of character depth or motivation, but he worked for what he was going for. But yeah, the things I didn't like the whole love relationship stuff. Like um I I don't know, like I just don't find it realistic when women just kind of throw themselves at someone even before they become rich and popular and famous. But that's just an aside. But is this movie and Spider Verse, where I'm like, it's just not believable to me that women just throw themselves at some guy just because they like him a little bit or whatever. But that's just whatever. It's just that's a story thread that I didn't really care for, and they didn't really go too deep, other than a few scenes with them. Orlando Bloom's character, like his character was interesting because he sort of starts off this whole idea of the Gran Turismo Academy and wanting to set up these group of gamers together. But it was hard to tell what his motivations were. Like Jack Shelter, David Harbour's character, jokes like, "Oh, what are you doing this for? Like some big office space?" And Orlando Bloom's character just kind of laughs it off. But you don't really find out what the motivation is, other than him just liking the game and wanting to set this up, like having a genuine interest in it. But you never really find out if someone hired him to do this, or I don't know. It's just weird. Like compared to Han's motivations, the dad's motivations, David Harbour's character's motivations, even the villain's motivations. Like his motivations just didn't make that much sense to me, other than a guy that was just wanted to do this for whatever reason. And the mom character, the mom was just kind of just there. She wasn't really super impactful to the story, and that's really about it. There's not a whole lot of gripes I have with this movie. I think it's a really well done, really solid movie. I think I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna just keep this spoiler free predominantly. I think probably said enough in terms of crashes and that do end up happening, but I'm not gonna go more specific on like the emotions and character drama. I'm gonna probably keep that on a separate video, but I'm gonna just leave it at that and just say that's what I liked about it and what I didn't like about it. But overall, like the things I didn't like were very minor and minimal, and there was a lot of things that I did like. Very well done, well made movie that's meant to watch in the theaters. If I were to, go back and try to rewatch it, I will want to watch it in IMAX. But yeah, definitely worth watching. Again, you don't have to be a fan of racing or anything like that. If you've been kind of tired of how the Fast and the Furious movies has sort of gotten as these sort of just cartoonish, just action explosion movies, and just want to watch a genuine good racing movie with high tension, good character drama, strong motivations, and whatnot, then this movie is a movie worth watching. I'm gonna keep it as that. Thanks for watching the video, and thanks. Have a good one.